Remember how much this guy used to go for? What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at another masterpiece MPM figure, that being the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Now, this figure originally released in 2021 and then got scalped like crazy. Before this figure's reissue, this guy would be heavily scalped to the point where he'd go for roughly $300 unopened. I'm sure you were lucky enough to find him for at least $100 without the box on eBay. But it's 2024 and Hasbro reissued this figure, I guess due to popular demand. So how is this guy? Is he worth all that money? Well, let's take a look. But before we take a look, let's take a quick look at his packaging. So starting up on the front of the cover is the figure of Optimus Prime in his robot mode and alt mode, and then the rest of the cover is a whole bunch of words, names, and logos. On the top is the Transformers Masterpiece movie series logo. Same thing on the bottom. On the right side is a more zoomed in look to Optimus Prime, and on the other side is Optimus Prime, but in his truck mode. And then you flip to the back and you get a little more info on what this figure comes with. There's not much being shown here other than the matrix of leadership. But anyways, that'll have to do for the box art. Now moving back to, one second, the figure. So starting off, the painting and sculpting is pretty good. It is arguable that some other third-party knockoffs out there have done a better job at showcasing what the model of Optimus Prime looks from the Bumblebee into figure form, but the Masterpiece MPM-1 doesn't do a bad job either, although maybe the chest is a little inaccurate. The legs look pretty great, and hey, unlike the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, the Masterpiece one has blue hands, which are accurate. Oh, and that head sculpt looks really great. I'm kind of surprised this wasn't the head sculpt we got in the original Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime, but I'm hoping they go back and redo that figure. But anyways, for kibble, there is kind of a lot. I mean, in some instances, the kibble is hidden nicely well on some sides. On the other hand, it's a bit obvious. Also, the back looks pretty cool. The shoulders might look a bit kibbly, but I think that's totally accurate. Now, for quality, this guy holds up nicely well. Give him a good shake and nothing seems to fall off. Although I will say this guy has a bunch of ratchet joints, especially on his arms. For some reason, when moving the arms on my copy, the ratchet joints aren't as loud as they are when you move the arm down. Take a look. And it doesn't help that the bicep rotation is exceedingly tight. Oh, and check this out. Not much, right? How about now? So yeah, overall the arms are unnecessarily tight. The legs are fine, and the head. Also, another thing you could do with this figure is you can remove the smokestacks, which are actually starting to get paint chipped. Wait, what? And one more thing for the head, I don't know why the blue ears look a little off. They are made out of this rubber-ish plastic though. And one more thing I'd like to point out is that I never pointed out that there's dry brushing on the silver parts, especially on the thighs here. If there was some extra dry brush weathering on the red and blue, then that would have been pretty cool as well. And I think the reason why the feet are left unpainted is that usually this figure is standing down, and I guess that means the paint is a little more likely to chip. Also forgot to mention there's kibble on the back of the feet. And now moving on to accessories. Pew. Now, the only weapon he comes with is, of course, his ion blaster, which is flippable, I guess. On one side it looks cool, but on the other side there's all these screws over here. Understandable. But hey, the Ion Blaster has a flip open gimmick? That's pretty great. Now, I find this part a little hard, but you essentially want to have the tab on the side tab onto that slot, and then make sure you have the fingers half closed. Once you have that out of the way, just go ahead and fold in the fingers and the thumb. And here we have the Masterpiece MPM Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime fully equipped with his Ion Blaster. Now, my problem with him holding the gun is that this is the best you could have him hold his gun. You can't necessarily have both of his hands holding the gun without the grip untabbing from the hand. And to me, that seems like a bit of a letdown. Also, there appears to be no weapon storage for this gun. Yeah, 0 out of 10. And then one more thing for accessories. The chest, of course, split opens to reveal the matrix, which for some reason I cannot get out with my bare hands. For now, I'm just gonna keep it there. Overall, I'd say that's pretty much it in terms of accessories. Of course, Bumblebee had more than Optimus Prime, but it's fine, I guess. At least the Ion Blaster has this nice unfolding gimmick. But anyways, it's time we move on to Articulation. Ball joint at the head. Well, sort of. Head can move up and down, head swivel, full rotation at the arm, butterfly joint. The shoulder pads are spring loaded, which allows for a smooth bend at the shoulder, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow. You could also do this to Optimus Prime's elbow that I'm pretty sure Megatron would probably do to his elbow. Wrist swivel, which is also on a hinge joint. The thumb is on a ball joint. The index finger is independently movable, whereas the other 3 fingers move together. Waist swivel, side skirt moves out. The legs can spread. Front skirt moves out. Leg can move forward. Back skirt can also move out. The leg can move backwards. Knee swivel, bend at the knee. And lastly, the foot can move up and down and can rock from side to side. And yeah, that's pretty much it for articulation. Overall, I felt like it was somewhat limiting in some parts. Like, I feel like the Bumblebee toy had more articulation than this guy. But now moving on to size comparison, starting off with the masterpiece Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, and then for some Rise of the Beasts primes, here he is next to the mainline prime, Studio Series prime, which will be getting a reissue, the Bayway prime, excuse me as I accidentally moved the camera a bit, but here he is next to the MHZ version, SS38, B127, Cliffjumper, Brawn, Wheeljack, Ratchet, Ironhide, RC, and then for some Bumblebee movie Decepticons, here he is next to Dropkick, Shatter, Blitzwing, Starscream, Thrust, Thundercracker, Skywarp, Soundwave, Shockwave, Concept Art Megatron, and then for a few comparisons of other gentle giants, here he is next to the YOLO Park Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, and then for some oldies, here he is alongside the Transformers 2008 Allspark Power Leader Class Night Watch Optimus Prime, and then here he is alongside the Transformers Dark of the Moon Amazon exclusive Supreme Class Jetwing Optimus Prime. The size seems to be accurate. And then if that wasn't enough, here he is next to all the other Bumblebee movie Autobots. And of course the scale is off, unless we're talking about the scale accuracy of Transformers 1, where Optimus Prime and B127 are in their cogged forms, whereas all the other Autobots aren't. They're still in their cogless minor form, and it looks about right. But anyways, leave a comment down below which Autobot from the Bumblebee movie you would like to see next as a masterpiece figure. And now I believe it's time we get down to transformation, which surprisingly is a little more simplistic than Bumblebee's transformation. I kid you not, but I figured out how to transform this guy without the instructions. Let me go with something a little more convincing. I figured out how to transform this guy mostly into his alt mode without watching a how to transform him video. So basically the engineering is somewhat similar to the SS38, but anyways, you're going to start with the legs. So starting off, what you will do first is open this up, rotate it, leave it there for now, open up this cab, which will allow you to open out the wheels, flip open this panel, and then what you will do next is flip open this, I think it's a gas tank? But anyways, it's the only part that's made out of die-cast metal. Yeah, this guy doesn't come with as much die-cast metal parts as Bumblebee does. The goal is to tab this slot into that tab on the side skirt, but before you do that, you make sure you move this ratchet joint piece just one ratchet down, and then you'll be able to push that in with ease. And then you come back and close this panel onto the gas tank. And then push that kneecap in, move the foot upwards, and then close it down. Open this back piece out, and then push all of this outwards like so, close the wheels in, and then rotate the back wheel, which will also become the back wheel again, and anyways, it'll tab there. Close in this piece, and there you have one leg done. Once you have the other leg folded in, you will go ahead and close the two together, and then that's the whole back of the truck. Now moving on to the front, we'll start off with the arms first. What you will do is make sure that this is right there. Otherwise, you're going to have some trouble folding the hand inwards. Oh, and make sure you straighten this out as well. Rotate this whole piece downwards like this. Flip this bottom cable piece open and then fold in the hand. And that's basically just one arm done. Here's the other one. Spin to the back. Open up his backpack, I guess you could call it that. And I guess you could push the head down for now, as well as push this little lip downwards. We'll fold this in a little later. As what you're going to want to do is rotate the whole waist backwards and then push these front pieces outwards. It's very weird how the chest is supposed to work with the transformation. But anyways, you're supposed to have a tab in there and then push that in. Stay in, please. Push this bottom chest piece out and spread it out like so. Push the wheels down and shift them like so. Same thing for the other side. Just make sure when you shift them forward, just make sure that that goes in like right there. and then leave them there for now. As what you will want to do next is untab this and push it all the way in until that piece tabs in right there, and then fold in this back piece in. Push the wheels down and make sure they tab in right there. The instructions suggest that you leave them untabbed, but just to prevent a big mess, you can go ahead and tab them in for now. And then finally we can bring this section down. Just make sure it is tabbed in 100%. Now here's what I consider the hard part. What you're going to do is try to conjoin this whole arm or fold an arm piece onto the side of the truck and make sure that this clear plastic slot tabs in onto that tab whilst you're folding this whole piece in. After that, you come down to the section, move it down, and then before you close this all the way in, this tab will have to tab it onto that slot, so you can go ahead and untab that out and then push this whole piece in and then close all of that in again. Make sure the other side is folded in. After that whole arm folding in onto the side of the truck, you can go ahead and close in a whole bunch of tabs, such as this one, and then spread this open to a straight rectangular panel, and then close it in on the top of the truck. After that, you're going to want to move this piece out. This is the part that I completely missed out on doing when I first transformed this guy without the instructions. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and tab that in and rotate the smokestack. Same thing for the other side. However, for some reason, this does not want to tab in all the way. And then the last thing you want to do is, whilst tabbing this top part over there, you also want to slide everything right there. And here you have the masterpiece MPM Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime in his alt mode. I'd say his masterpiece level transformation is more on par with the transformation of the Revenge of the Fallen leader class Optimus Prime. Still fun though. But then when getting to the truck, this is where things get inaccurate and not in a pretty way. Like the cat ears, this whole back part loaded with robot mode kibble. And I don't remember these parts being on the top of the truck. That wasn't until Rise of the Beasts. But hey, at least they did this. And they even added these parts, which are relatively truck accurate. Literally everything else inaccurate and somewhat disproportionate. For weapon storage, you're going to come back to the ion blaster and fold it in, and then there will be these two tabs right here that will peg into these two slots on the back. Anyways, it's just going to make sure you go ahead and tab that in, and there you go. There's weapon storage for the alt mode. It looks a little wonky, but where else is it supposed to go? Maybe here? It's a shame they didn't allow for more weapon storage options for both the alt mode and the robot mode, but at least there is a form of weapon storage for the alt mode. Other than that, there's not much else I have to say about the truck. And for a brief comparison, here he is alongside the alt mode of the Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime and the alt mode of the Masterpiece MPM Bumblebee movie Bumblebee. But anyways, here he is next to both of them. As you can see, the truck mode is a bit bigger than the SS32 Optimus Prime, but if I'm being honest with you, the alt mode for the SS32 Optimus Prime does a better job than the Masterpiece MPM Optimus. Now, for the size comparison between the Masterpiece Bumblebee and the Masterpiece Optimus Prime, I'm not sure if this is accurate, as I think the semi-trucks in real life are supposed to be significantly bigger than a Volkswagen Beetle. Let me know in the comments on that, I'd like to know. But anyways, be sure to let me know in the comments which one does it better, the Studio Series or the Masterpiece. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I had to say for this guy. Overall, I'd say he's pretty great. He's respectfully tall. Transformation is not a pain, unlike this guy. Articulation and alt mode, but overall I'd recommend him over Bumblebee. If you are looking to pick this figure up, he is available over at Amazon for roughly $130, I think. But last week he was right around $91 and stayed there for a while actually. He's going up a bit now, so if you want to get him, I think you should get him now before he sells out, and then becomes expensive again. Now some people recommended to get the upgrade kit for this just to make him a little better. I mean, I don't really do upgrade kits, but if you guys tend to get upgrade kits to upgrade your figure, then go ahead. Other than that, you might want to give this figure a chance. He's kind of cool. And one more thing, if Hasbro does actually go back and redo the SS38 mold, can he be a commander class where he comes with his trailer as well? I mean, it happened in the movie, so maybe? Honestly, I could be the only one on board with this idea. Let me know if you're on board as well. One more time, he's available on Amazon for I think 20 to 30 bucks. This whole time I forgot to mention his Nemesis Prime recolor. But that's pretty much it for this review. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another upload. Let me know how I did in this video, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. Don't ask why I was talking fast. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Teo! I messed that up. Teo!